The Joint Foreign Chambers, or JFC, has urged the government to further open up the economy in order for the Philippines to attract more foreign direct investments, or FDIs. Australia New Zealand Chamber of Commerce President Ian Porter said easing the economic provisions is an absolute key for the country to attract FDIs. More from Freddie Abando.
There is no doubt the Philippine business groups and the Joint Foreign Chambers in the Philippines are convinced the leadership of President Aquino has been the guiding light for the Philippines' emergence as the best performing economy in ASEAN.
The Aquino administration is now entering the home stretch of its term. There are now only 16 months remaining to institutionalize the much-needed and long-overdue reforms that will ensure that the considerable gains of the last 4.5 years will not be reversed. After all, the President himself stated in his inaugural address that he wants strong institutions to be the legacy of his term. And this is a goal that the business community wholeheartedly supports. To give credit where credit is due, the Aquino administration, of course, deserves high marks for its excellent handling of our economic fundamentals. Congratulations indeed to Secretary Purisima and the other members of the Economic Development Cluster for laying rock-solid foundations for our economy, even in the face of numerous natural and man-made calamities we have had to face.
In a presentation of the 4th anniversary assessment of the economy championed by Arrancada from 2010 to 2014, GDP growth registered an average of 6.3%. The Philippines tag as Asia's sick man is gone. Good governance was the key with the reforms undertaken by the Aquino government. The competitiveness ranking of the Philippines to include the ease of doing business gained significant ground, which led to credit ratings upgrade to investment grade for 2 consecutive years. Its impact, the entry of more foreign direct investments in 2014, which hit $6 billion.
Red is the Philippines, and while in the 60s and 70s, it was growing quite along with others in Southeast Asia. As you know, it slipped in the 80s and 90s, but that red line has been going up, and now, as we know, it's the fastest growing of the ASEAN 6 economies that are here. GDP growth rate is also shown in this from 1990, when it was below the others, and as you can see, has now risen to the top in 2014.
Within ASEAN, we are beginning to move up into the middle portion of ASEAN, where we used to be in the bottom, near the bottom, usually second or third from bottom. Now we're about in the middle point. As John said, our goal has been to move up from the bottom third into the top third of global rankings.
However, Del Rosario stressed more reforms are needed to sustain growth for the long term. One is for Congress to amend restrictive economic provisions of the Constitution. Speaker Feliciano Belmonte authored Resolution Number 1 in support of the proposed amendment, which will empower Congress in the future to undertake sweeping reforms which restrict the flow of foreign investments. This focuses on land ownership for foreigners, stakes in advertising and media, public utilities, and education.
This amendment, as you know, will give Congress the flexibility to determine which areas of the economy should be open to increased foreign participation based on thorough deliberations from the committee level to the plenary. The Philippines is among very few nations with specific economic restrictions lodged in our Constitution, whereas a large number of countries subscribe to the principle of allowing their legislatures to determine economic policy. There is no better time than now to accelerate the process of opening up our economy as we host the annual meeting of APEC, which champions policies of open markets and enhanced investments and trade among its member economies.
For the People's Television Network, this is Freddie Abando reporting.